King Rold sees the writing on the walls. There's Zamorakians milling about in the wilderness, and he's decided it's about time he built a strong fortification to help protect the people of Varrock. You'd think he'd have thought of that when a literal Satan monster was trying to harness the power from a nuke sword to do chaos. But I guess when annihilation is staring you down, construction ain't the first thing on your mind. Let's be honest, this is a land grab. A convenient place sitting on an estuary that leads to the sea is perfect for trade. Sure, he's offering anyone that settles the land the title of Duke, making that land a duchy, but with how feudal governance works, we'd still be his vassal. It's our duchy, but it's still his land, being the king and all. He says we're being granted a greater amount of freedom compared to other nobles, but come on. Such a valuable piece of land, and you think he isn't going to try throwing his weight around, getting us to do exactly what he wants us to do? Yeah, right. And of course, he doesn't remember us when we offer to help him. No act too heroic can disguise the fact that we're lowborn scum. Hail to the king, I guess. So the lumberyard is gone, and with it went the relevance of my sawmill woodcutting video. In place of the lumberyard is Fort Forinthry, or at least the half-planned clearing that's supposed to become Fort Forinthry. Sawmill Bill is here, the architect of the fort, who's been abandoned by the previous party of heroes trying to settle this land, sent running because of a few zombies. After a very easy time and a quick amount of convincing, Bill offers to help us get started with constructing this fort, and that means making a workshop and building up the perimeter. For that, we need wood and stone. Prior to this update, during one of Jagex's streams, we learned we'd need not only planks, but limestone for building this fort. This resulted in a rush to buy up as much limestone as possible. Undoubtedly, people made bank merching this stuff. I personally bought a few thousand limestone from the Prifddinas sawmill operator. Turns out to build everything in your fort to completion, all you need is around 600 bricks. A little bit of overkill, yeah, it's fine. Oh, and also Bill sells like 250 bricks, so we just get it from him. He has bricks. This bastard has limestone bricks. No one had to buy them beforehand. This quest, which could have been a mini quest, but does officially count as a quest, exists solely to show you how this whole thing works. And it's simple. Take planks to the plank thing, make them into refined planks, then go to the other side of the plank thing and turn those refined planks into wooden frames. 4 planks become a refined plank, 3 refined become 1 frame. If you don't have planks, you can take wood to the plank thing and make planks yourself. That's right, we don't gotta pay the sawmill operator to make planks for us. Sorry, Bill. The stone is a bit simpler. Take the limestone to the stone thing and make wall segments from 4 bricks. That's it. With the right materials, you go to the blueprint table, pick the thing you want to make, then run over to the hotspot and build the structure. If you stay on the highlighted spot, you get more XP, and of course that highlighted spot will move around, so you gotta stay aware. It's the whole idea of AFK is less XP, but it's easier. Active training is more XP, but you gotta put in the effort, you know, standard stuff. After building the workshop, Bill tells you to enlist the help of Astra Dunnett to help manage the fort. Astra tells you to get Civ to act as an overseer, and she sends you off to Father Flint because nothing delivers more morale to a fort than a one-eyed priest, probably a euphemism. Now that we have a crew, we can finally head off to the Wushenko Islands in the Ark. Oh wait, that's something else. Now that we have people willing to help us with our fort, fortificators I like to call them, we can get started building the walls. It works exactly the same way as building the workshop. Pick a blueprint, not realize which one you picked, run around the fort for a couple minutes searching for the glowing construction spot, then get started building. I should read before I press go. It shouldn't take you more than an hour to get all the walls done. Apparently you can 2-tick build the walls, but I didn't know this at the time, so I didn't do it. Too sweaty for me anyway. Once the quest is done, you can get started building and upgrading the buildings in the fort. There's a total of 4, and each confer different benefits. Those benefits improving as you build the next tier of buildings up to a maximum of 3 tiers. Yes, it sounds quite a lot like the Anachronia base camp buildings, but this gets done much faster, and this also comes with a training method. We'll get to that later. You can build these buildings in any order, by the way. You just can't skip tiers. Gotta build tier 1 before you can build tier 2 before you can build tier 3. Obvious stuff. Since you start with the tier 1 workshop, as soon as you finish the quest, we'll start there. Tiers 1, 2, and 3 require levels 1, 40, and 80 construction respectively, and grant 2,800, 12,000, and 23,000 XP over the course of the builds. This is the base XP. The first tier boosts the construction XP you get by 5%, increasing by an additional 5% with each tier up to 15%. More excitingly, the workshop has a bunch of artisan skilling spots like a furnace, anvil, archaeologist workbench, and an invention workbench. And even more excitingly, emphasis on tingly, is the remote access to the invention machines you get at tier 2 and a 25% power capacity increase at tier 3. This means more machines, and you don't have to teleport to the invention guild and run all the way to the back to realize your alchemizer ran out of nature runes like a week ago. Yeah, it told you you didn't have enough when you put the battle stabs in there, but you weren't paying attention because it takes up 80% of your brain power teleporting to the guild with your Passage of the Abyss because you can never remember which numbers to press and end up up at the crafting guild instead. Next up, the Town Hall. Tiers 1, 2, and 3 require level 10, 50, and 90 construction respectively, and grant 3.6 thousand, 15,000, and 26,000 XP over the course of the builds. This is base XP. With the Town Hall comes a new mechanic, I guess you could call it that. Rested XP. When you logged out, a small amount of rested XP will accumulate over time. This rested XP can be converted into bonus XP in a skill of your choice by talking with Aster Dunnett in your fort. You might think this incentivizes not playing the game, but the amount of rested XP you get while logged out is minuscule. 100 rested XP is the same as a small star, about 10,000 bonus XP at level 99. And here's the thing, you only get 1 rested XP every 15 minutes you're logged out. A single small star every 25 hours is practically nothing, but you get 1 rested XP for every 3 minutes you spend skilling within the fort, so playing the game gets you more rested XP. Also, there's a rested XP cap. At tier 1, you can only hold 500 rested XP before you have to claim it. A tier 2 Town Hall increases the cap to 1000 rested XP, and you now gain 2 rested XP for every 3 minutes spent skilling in the fort. Finally, the tier 3 Town Hall further increases the cap to 1500 rested XP, and you'll now gain 3 rested XP for every 3 minutes spent skilling in the fort. It's not something to chase, but it's a nice bonus to have waiting for you. This also means the fort will be the new go-to skilling spot for bank standing skills. Judging by World 84, that's already clearly the case. The Chapel. Tiers 1, 2, and 3 require level 20, 60, and 95 construction respectively, and grant 7.2 thousand, 17,000, and 30,000 XP over the course of the builds. This is base XP. So, you remember house parties and open gilded altars? Those were the prayer training method back in the day. And if I'm not mistaken, still a pretty popular option in old school. Yeah, there's the Deep Wilderness Chaos Altar, and there's also the necromancy stuff and resurrecting heads. There's a lot of options in old school, but I think open gilded altars are still a thing. The Chapel is a replacement for those halcyon days of running bones to the Yanil house portal. The tier 1 chapel comes with an altar and 2 burners. The altar grants 250% XP when offering bones or ashes on it at all times, not just when the burners are lit. Instead, the burners provide a chance to save offerings. At tier 1, a single herb will keep the burner lit for 15 seconds and provide a 3% chance to save a set of bones or a pile of ash. Tier 2 increases the increased XP to 300%, burn time to 18 seconds, and the save chance to 6%. Finally, tier 3 brings the XP up to 350%, the number we're all familiar with. The burners burn for 21 seconds per herb, and you have a 10% chance to save an offering when the burners are burning. You can also now swap prayer books here and change the decor of the church. Not every god is represented, but it's the color that's important anyway, right? That's why I picked Zaros. Zaros sucks, but I mean the purple's cool. What's nice is this is communal, no pun intended. Although since this is scripted and I'm reading this off of a script, and I wrote that no pun was intended, even though I thought of the word communal in the first place. When you think about it, me saying no pun intended means that the pun was clearly intended. Anyway, we share burners, and you can add noted herbs to the burners as well. Do you happen to have thousands of guams sitting in your bank from when you ground out a bunch of druid renown so you could buy a bunch of stuff from his sidekick shop? I know I do, so I can drop hundreds into the burner in noted form whenever I want to give everyone on that world several hours of saving bones. Finally, the command center. I think it's probably my favorite building. Tiers 1, 2, and 3 require level 30, 70, and 99 construction respectively, and grant 8.6 thousand, 19,000, and 36,000 XP over the course of the builds. This is base XP. Can you believe it? Can you believe that was a thing I was going to say after this? The tier 1 command center provides remote access to global operations. From here, you can manage your workers at the Anachronia base camp, you can send out archaeology research missions, you can manage your kingdom in Misthalin, and finally you can send ships out from your player-owned port, and those ships will now have a 3% improved success chance. Tier 2 gives your ships an additional 3% success chance, and now 6%. You also get 5 additional Anachronia workers, and archaeology research now costs 3% fewer chronouts. Finally, the tier 3 command center brings the additional port success chance up to 10% rather than 6%. You get another 5 Anachronia workers, you get a 3% speed boost to archaeology research, and finally you can pay a little bit of extra money to keep your miscellanea approval at 100%. 750 GP per subject per day, basically free. So what's the training method? Basically building the buildings over again. Yeah, reinforcing the structures, but the materials are the same. However, you don't have to reinforce every single tier again. You can do the tier 3 version of the building over and over again, or do the tier 1 version if you want. I don't know what's the best XP, so I actually did a brief test. Like super brief, so brief that it's probably not really useful information because it's such a small data set, but here's the information anyway. It took me about 10 minutes and 45 seconds to get 53.8 thousand experience by rebuilding the Tier 3 command center. This isn't including the time it took me to refine the planks or to make the frames, so that'll affect your XP rate significantly. If you're buying the frames though, who cares? This worked out to around 300,000 XP per hour, about 249 XP per mahogany plank. It's not amazing, but it's also not absolutely horrible. It's certainly better than spamming flotsam prawn brokers or doing construction contracts. It's not faster than those, I don't think, but both of those things suck. So, you know, you got 3 options, pick the one you prefer. I also tested the Tier 3 workshop since that only requires level 80 construction to build. It took me 6 minutes and 40 seconds to get roughly 34,000 XP, not including the time spent making the frames or the XP gained from making the frames, even though it's not really that much. Anyway, that's around 306,000 XP per hour, around 202 XP per mahogany plank. In both of these tests, I did my best to maintain 100% on that building boost buff. Every 5% you have on that buff increases the XP you get by 1%, so you can have up to 20% boosted XP, plus the boosted XP you get from your construction outfit and the boosted XP you get from the workshop at Tier 3. So the base XP isn't super accurate, which is kind of why I wanted to do this test anyway, so I know exactly how much XP you'd be getting. You know, that's the one frustrating thing about RS3 is that it's hard to know like what's additive, what's a multiplicative, what boost here, what boosts affect base rate, what boosts affect everything. At least with old school, it's like you got an outfit, it gives you like 2.5% XP, that's it. Anyway, the boost supposedly makes building faster as well as granting more XP, but I don't know if the former is actually true. I do look forward to somebody doing a more thorough test of this because it seems odd that the level 80 building and the level 99 building would give roughly the same XP rate, but hey, there are weirder training methods in RuneScape anyway, so maybe that's true. You know, I think I see what Jagex is doing. I think they're trying to pull construction away from the player-owned house and apply it through the game world as a kind of soft rework. The player-owned house is, what, 20 years old? It's a big old plate of rotten spaghetti code. Maybe the player-owned house should remain the way it is, a relic of years gone by, a janky monument to the past. Frankly, trapping construction inside an instance area seems, in retrospect, like a terrible idea for an MMO. The Poe is lonely. The fort is bumping. We just need to spread dungeoneering out a bit and we'll be set. Now let me spend a little time gushing over the art. I really love the direction Jagex has been taking their environments, specifically the architecture. The buildings are just so charming and cozy looking. I love how the roofs are kind of like bent. It's cute. The art team's been knocking it out of the park since the release of Archaeology. That's not to say the art was bad before Archaeology. It's just that everything after Archaeology is still in my recent memory because it was recent. The music's been stellar too. I've had Fortitude, the music track introduced with this update, playing in the background for this entire video. It's atmospheric, thematically appropriate for the area, and it still feels like a RuneScape track. The wiki doesn't yet say which mod made this one, but it has some similarities to the Infernal Source, the Star Lodge, and the Glacier Front tracks, so I think this one was Mod Grace's doing. Although admittedly the audio team is kind of small, it's like 4 people, they probably all work on all the songs together. I don't know. I do wonder why art and music is almost always universally lauded by every game community across all games. No matter how mediocre a release is, it seems everyone can agree that the art and sound teams weren't holding back. Maybe it's confirmation bias, or maybe there's something there. Maybe there's something worth researching. Sociologists, get on that. I'll be waiting. I can't give you grant money. I'll just say thank you. All in all, for a piece of content that isn't technically finished, it's pretty good. There's clearly going to be more updates to the fort and the storyline as a whole. They've said as much. It's supposed to intersect with the necromancy skill in some way. Since we don't know anything about necromancy, I can't even speculate how it's going to intersect. What the hell are we going to be doing in necromancy? Is it going to be combat? Is it going to be support? Is it going to be like summoning? Who knows? Who knows? But regarding the fort, even though it's not fully completed, it doesn't feel like there's a bunch of stuff missing. If we didn't know more was going to be added to this, and we thought this was just a standalone update, I think I'd be happy with it. The fact that there is more coming soon has me excited, so I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next. Hopefully it's not a once a month kind of thing, but it probably will be. Oh well. Thanks for watching.